Why does this keep happening to me? Every time I want to shoot the video, the train goes by, the coffee machine had to turn off, ventilation started working. We're gonna wait for it to pass. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be spilling the tea on fashion weeks and going down a little memory lane of some of the best and some of the worst experiences I had. For those of you who haven't been following me for quite some time, I began attending fashion week shows in 2015. It was just crazy to think that I was a sophomore in college, skipping school to attend shows. But you know what? It was way more fun than going into class, so I highly recommend. Just kidding, stay in school, kids. Actually, I'll save this for another video sometime, just talking about my college experience in general and how I had a mentor who literally advised me to skip school for these things. Anyway, today I wanted to talk a bit about the highs and lows of Fashion Week and just give you guys a bit of a reality check when it came to attending. I'm gonna focus mostly on New York City so that we can condense this video and it's not like a million hours long. It was 2014, my Instagram began to grow. I had spent that whole summer before getting connections and just figuring out how to email brands and get those invites to shows. I started drafting my emails, showing them to my peers, and hey, does this sound good? Do I sound like I'm qualified enough to attend? Traditionally, shows were reserved for publicists, for editors, for buyers, not so much for the influencer space. So there was definitely a shift happening in that time. And it's actually a really good thing that there have been a lot of barriers to entry that have been loosened, especially with the rise of social media. Anyway, my first few invites in the emails. I was gonna say in the mail, but they don't come in the mail most of the time. I was ecstatic. And while I wasn't invited to the biggest shows, I was so grateful to be there. I remember one of the first shows I attended being Betsy Johnson, and she did a cartwheel across the runway after her models went out and presented, and I was just so honored to be there. And I just remember feeling like I had that recognition for the blog that I had been working on for so long. Especially being my first time, you know, going into New York City, New York Fashion Week, I had not a lot of clue on budgeting. You know, I didn't realize how people were getting outfits, their rides between shows or sponsors they were having. And so as I began to attend further fashion weeks, I learned how to maximize my trip. One of the things that people might already know is that it's very rare to meet nice people in the industry. You might feel like you're not good enough because you were invited to one show but not to another show, or you were invited but you weren't dressed by the brand. And it started to be this mental drain inside of me, feeling like I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy of being here. You know what they call it, what's that syndrome called? I'm gonna look it up. I have my laptop in front of me. Syndrome of not being good enough. Imposter syndrome. Yes, I started having imposter syndrome, feeling like I don't belong in the room. And I know a lot of this could be attributed to being one of the few who was wearing a headscarf and dressing modestly to the shows. And I felt that initially, while attending fashion weeks, there was a lot of misunderstanding when it came to why I wore hijab. As the years moved on, the world has become much more globalized. So I think that there have been definitely a lot of changes for the good. I was looking back at my photos from fashion weeks the other day and I was seriously wondering why I thought this was okay to wear there. We're gonna go with it. And I actually still kind of like a lot of the pieces today. It's just like a few things I was like, okay, this is not gonna make you stand out to a paparazzi. People tend to get dressed so that they'll get spotted by street style photographers. So if you're not getting spotted by photographers or you're not taking photos, it's as if you kind of didn't go. It's a good time to play with your wardrobe and just experiment with things that you wouldn't wear in other weeks. To be honest, there are a lot of times where I personally would be so busy, wouldn't have time to shoot my outfits. So either I would shoot them like a day before, I would rewear everything, or I'd shoot them near my apartment later on and not actually in between the shows. Who has time to actually look good raining? Oh my God, when it's raining and cold, it just starts becoming so miserable and you're like questioning your entire existence at that point. But to get into rating my outfits, the first look we have is this cream two-piece cord set, and I actually like it. It is made of this like waffle material, which is a little bit like a towel, but my question is, why am I wearing this clutch? I was thinking this is gonna get the photographer's attention, but I'll give it 10 out of 10 for makeup. I was so excited. Next look, this skirt is not that cute. Why am I wearing a giant skirt with giant flowers? That red clutch, you're gonna see that a lot in my fashion week outfits. I thought it was cool to rewear every piece, which it is, but you know, you have to spice it up and show you own other things, especially in this time of year, you know what I'm saying? Which I later learned that you could do wardrobe loans. I remember this. Oh my God, I was gifted this vest in Dubai, actually the year before, by a designer on Fashion Forward. And I was so obsessed with it. And I know it looks a bit more on the traditional wear side, but you know what? I went with it. I was like, yeah, I wear hijab. They're probably gonna think I'm wearing some traditional clothes from back home, so I'm gonna pull it off. I'm very happy I wore it. Oh, here we go with the red clutch and the leather jacket. I'm telling you guys, I packed these two things thinking they're gonna go with everything, which I think was kind of cute of me at the time. Look though, the skirt was cute. It was very like summery vibes though, so I don't know how I made it work with New York City. And I was gifted that skirt actually before the show so I could wear it to it. Well, I love this outfit. I remember being spotted by Getty Images for the first time. Everything I'm wearing was on a budget. You know, I'm wearing Aldo necklace, Aldo flat. My pants were from Old Navy. Attending New York Fashion Week on a budget. Now I would totally wear this again today, but just change up a little bit of necklace and the bag, shoes. Okay, this is my favorite. So cute little story. I actually made this shirt with my mom. I got this like black scuba material top from H&M and I added a feather lining all the way across the bottom. That way I could make a unique tunic because I could not think of any other outfits for the rest of my show. I still have this shirt in my closet and I actually ended up wearing it to Michael Kors like 6 years later. I'll tell you guys actually the story. I was invited to Michael Kors at 7 a.m. and the show was at 10 a.m. to New York City in literally the next hour and a half. And so I was like scourging through my closet and I found this shirt and I wore it with an all black and white look. I had been working with the PR in the Middle East, which was on different time zones. So therefore they were communicating to me while I was asleep and I woke up and saw the invite, but your girl made it. All right, next outfit. I am not a fan of this giant fur Gillette. I thought I was really cool and giving like modern Cruella de Vil vibes. Also the ripped jeans with the leggings under. I wouldn't wear this today. I would totally wear this today. I was very excited. This is my next season of Fashion Week after my first trial season, and I had actually purchased my first designer bag ever because I had been attending the first show with the same clutch, wearing it to like 3-4 shows. So this is pretty exciting upgrading, and I was able to save up for this bag with a lot of the sponsorships I had gotten. It feels like I'm going to a 9-to-5 job. I don't know why I wore this to a show, but I remember I was sponsored by a company. I love the outfit, but I don't know why I would actually wear it to a show. I should have totally accessorized it more. But you know what? You can tell that I'm like getting more professional and moving into my 20s. This look, I was dressed by Alice and Olivia. I really should have changed at least the tights on the bottom. Just screamed fun. And I would wear something more sophisticated. Oh, I love this picture. So this was actually one of my favorite outfits because it was so chill and it was kind of like going to the gym at 9 and then you have Fashion Week at 10 type look. And I was spotted by Vogue Arabia here. I feel like it was a really good sporty chic look, and that was what was popular in 2017 when I took this photo, so I'm here for this. Anyway, if you hear some music behind me, people are having a blast outside because it's actually sunny. I'm going to tell you guys about some of my favorite experiences at New York Fashion Week. First one is the time I met Stacey London. Ran the show What Not to Wear on TLC. That was the show to be watching as a teenager. I dreamt of having her job. Her job was literally to go to the streets and take people that did not know how to dress and give them like a complete revamp in their wardrobe, their makeup, their hair, take them shopping in New York City. This new like curated wardrobe that was so mix and matchable, and I was like, oh, I wish I could have your job, but make it for like hijabi women that needed to have a revamp in their closet, because honestly, the people would feel so much more confident after they had their closets and wardrobes redone. I just wanted to be able to give that same confidence to people. Cleaning out closets was one of my favorite hobbies as a kid. So I walked into an event in New York City, and as I get there, Stacey London is there. The PR that invited me introduced her to me. She tells me she loves my blog. Meeting her was just like this realization that I kind of had her job. I didn't have her job in the sense that I had a TV show, but I was able to hopefully inspire young girls and hijabis to dress in a way that made them more confident. We literally sat for 1 hour chatting, and she was so sweet. Let me tell you some other perks of Fashion Week. Now that I look back on it and it's all digital now, I'd come to my hotel room in the middle of the day and find all of these arrivals from different brands. I'd have ladies waiting to come and do my nails or do my makeup for different shows. The best part was that my sister Susie would come with me to all of my Fashion Weeks. Like, I would literally pull her out of high school, ironing my clothes, setting up my wardrobe, being in the goodies by companies we were working with. She was honestly living her best life in high school. This was all very new to me at the time, and I was very, very grateful always for every gifting, every sponsorship, partnership I had at the time. And I would always make sure that any like food or gifting I was given was always being shared and never like thrown away, of course. Like, once I was given a bouquet of flowers before I had to travel back home, and I took that flower bouquet with me through the airport. Now that I think about it, I could have gifted it to somebody on the street and made their day. One of my other favorite moments were just being spotted by street style photographers, you know, being able to meet somebody on the street and exchange information. I also got to meet a lot of PRs for different brands, getting to meet a lot of the models backstage. I got to shoot a TV commercial with an Indonesian brand, Wardah, which later led me to actually go to Indonesia. Now I'm gonna move on to kind of my more horrible experiences at New York Fashion Week, because while this all sounded so fun and glamorous on paper, there were definitely moments where I felt like, why am I here? Or is this really worth my time? So let me spill the tea. I was invited to New York City by a brand. The brand wanted content from a photo shoot, and they also wanted content from their main event, which was going to be that Friday night. So me doing my job, I got ready for the event, everything. Friday night, I head over there. And as soon as I get to the door, the PR girls at the front go through their iPad and they're like, you're not on the list. And I'm like, how am I not on the list? Like, I was literally flown out here to be at this event. they kept going through their iPad and they're like, no, you're not on the list, sorry, you can't attend. And I'm like, but I have to attend. I'm being paid by the brand to be here. Like, I can't just not attend and not take any content here. I proceed to show her the email that I had received and like the entire collaboration of what was going on. And she like reads all of it and she's like, I can't trust that this is correct. I can't let you in because you're not on the iPad. And I'm like, excuse me, can I speak to one of your managers or someone? And she's like, no, sorry, no one is available and we can't let you in. And mind you, I'm sitting there arguing with her on why I need to be here to take content for her brand. I wanted to be there initially, but now that I'm begging to be there, why do I need to be here? I'm here because you guys hired me to be here. From here to here, we kept arguing. And I'm like, listen, obviously I have these emails. Why would I want to break into whatever this event is? Me being the naive person I was at the time, I told her, can I at least take some photos for the brand without attending? I shouldn't have offered at the time because they were being completely rude to me. Like, they were humiliating me, honestly, in front of the people that were there. People started staring and they're like, why is this person like at the door trying to come in or whatever? And I felt that the situation happened in a much more humiliating way because I wore a hijab and most of the attendees, or all the attendees, actually did not. I felt that I kind of stood out and I was being humiliated at the front of the event. I left. I like shut the door and left. And she's like, I'll let you know if we get any updates or anything. And I was like, I'm not interested. Like, I literally rolled my eyes at her and just left the door. And I went and stood outside and I like started crying. Why is she treating me like this? I didn't do anything wrong. That was when it really sunk into me that I didn't belong. No matter how hard you try and you want to fit in, you will always be different. And I know that this was some sort of mistake that they had, which they didn't have my name, but even then I felt like her attitude towards me was completely disrespectful. If I hadn't been visibly hijabi Muslim girl, she might have treated me differently. And I can't always pull that card, like, oh, the Muslim card. Like, I never want to be that person. She just didn't want to cooperate. And I felt like she may have had sort of tension towards me, even though I never knew who she was or I'd never met her in my life. Sitting outside and crying and just feeling like I need to rant about this to someone. But then I thought, you know what? You need to be the better person. Don't go blasting a company on your social media. I wouldn't do that now for sure because things happen and some things that go online you can't always take back. So I kept my rage internal through the emails I sent to the company. Went on with the rest of my fashion week, and the next day I woke up to tons of emails from them all apologizing, and they asked for my address to send flowers. I just had such a bad vibe from that brand and from the event that I felt that I never want to work with companies that aren't going to be valuing my time. I felt like it was horrifying because I was so naive and young in the industry, and just being able to be told off like that after literally getting on a plane to be there. Like, I wasn't even a New York local at the time. Like, and mind you, this was actually a big company. That by far was one of my worst experiences when it came to fashion weeks, but the other experiences are more internal in terms of just the peer pressure. I can't help but feel that there is a sense of I'm not good enough, or I need to be doing more, or I need to be doing better. And I realized that a lot of value comes not only in the surface level value. Now that fashion weeks have moved digital, you know, it's such a different experience than wanting to go in person. I used to have so much fun going in person though, and just being able to hang out with friends and catch up on the styles and the shows, and honestly it was just so inspiring to be there. It's made for some really great Instagram content too. It's definitely interesting to think about where fashion weeks are heading now in the future. I think what I'm trying to say is that you might not always see everything as glamorous as it looks online. It might be glamorous at surface level, but on the inside you need to really be thinking about the values and goals that you have. Once you have those fully aligned with what you're doing, you won't ever feel mentally draining days because you'll feel like whatever you're doing has a purpose. And I'm so happy that I was able to find that as I continue to attend fashion weeks and realize my worth and the value of my blog, my audiences, my style, and myself too. Now that I've been at home for 11 months, I would love to attend a fashion week. Somebody please invite me to their fashion week. Let me just leave, go to another city. Let the coronavirus be over. Who doesn't like going places and doing fun stuff? I hope you guys always take everything I say with a little grain of salt. I'm a very passionate person and I can be passionate in either extreme. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have any questions about fashion weeks or just my experiences in general. Hopefully we'll have more fashion weeks to attend together in the future that are in person. Okay, love you, bye.